Hello everyone and welcome back to Cute Crochet. My name is Sri and in today's video I am going to show you how to crochet this adorable octopus amigurumi. This is a no-sew pattern, super easy to make and perfect for beginners, and this is a great size for a keychain. To make these you will need any one color yarn as well as some black yarn to embroider the mouth and pink yarn to embroider the cheeks. You will need 4mm safety eyes and blank key rings to turn these into keychains. You'll need some stuffing to stuff the amigurumi, and for tools you're going to need a crochet hook, a yarn needle, something to use as a stitch marker and a pair of scissors. So let's get started. For the body I will use the steel yarn. This is a 4-ply yarn and with it I am going to use a 3mm crochet hook, which is a couple of sizes smaller than what is recommended for this yarn. It's actually recommended to use a 4mm hook with this. We do this so that our stitches are nice and tight and none of the stuffing shows through. We are going to start by making a magic circle. To do that, wrap your yarn up and over your finger like so, forming a cross in the front. Then insert your hook underneath the cross. Take the yarn from the other side and pull through. Then again yarn over and pull through the loop on your hook. Now remove this loop from your finger and this is the magic circle that we are going to work into. Start by making a chain 1. This chain 1 does not count as a stitch. Then we are going to make 6 single crochets into the magic circle. To make a single crochet, insert your hook into the magic circle and pull up a loop. You will have 2 loops on your hook like this. Yarn over and pull through the 2 loops and that finishes 1 single crochet. Let's do it again. Insert your hook into the magic circle and pull up a loop. 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through 2. Now we are going to make 4 more single crochets like this for a total of 6 single crochets. After you finish making 6 single crochets, you can pull on this tail to cinch the magic circle completely closed, and this brings us to the end of round 1. At the end of round 1, we have 6 single crochets. This amigurumi is going to be worked in continuous rounds, so we need to mark the last stitch of the round. For that I am using a paper clip here, but you can use anything. You can use a yarn in a different color or you can also get proper stitch markers. Round 2 is an increase round. For this round, we are going to increase in each stitch all the way around. An increase is simply placing 2 single crochets into one stitch. So, go into that first single crochet and make 1 single crochet. Then make 1 more single crochet into that same stitch, and that is our increase stitch. Again, into the next stitch, place 2 single crochets. Now into the remaining 4 stitches of the round, make increases, that is 2 single crochets into the same stitch. When you reach the last stitch of the round, remove the stitch marker and place 2 single crochets into that stitch as well. This brings us to the end of round 2. At the end of round 2, you will have 12 single crochets. Go ahead and mark the new last stitch of the round. For round 3, we are going to increase into every alternate stitch. So, into that first stitch, make a single crochet. Then into the next stitch, 2 single crochets. Then into the next stitch, 1 single crochet, then increase. Continue repeating like this. Single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase all the way around. Once you reach the last stitch, remove the stitch marker and place 2 single crochets into it. Go ahead and mark the new last stitch of the round. At the end of round 3, you will have 18 single crochets. For round 4, we are going to increase in every third stitch, but we are going to stagger our increases, otherwise the piece starts to become hexagonal. So start by making 1 single crochet into that first stitch. Then in the next stitch, increase. Then make 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. Then increase in the next stitch. We are going to repeat this sequence of 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches and then increase all the way around until you reach the last stitch. We are going to repeat this sequence a total of 5 times. Here I am at the last stitch of the round. Remove the stitch marker and place 1 single crochet into it, and this will finish the first sequence. Since we made 1 single crochet and increase to start, this single crochet will make it 2 single crochet then increase. Replace the stitch marker, and this brings us to the end of round 4. At the end of round 4, you'll have 24 single crochets. For round 5, we are going to make 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around, keeping the stitch count constant at 24. I am going to finish this and meet back up with you. Here I am at the last stitch of round 5. Remove the stitch marker, place 1 single crochet into it and then replace the stitch marker. As you can see, your piece will start to curve like this. That's completely normal. We are going to repeat the same thing as round 5 for 4 more rounds. So for round 6, 7, 8 and 9, I am going to finish this and meet back up with you. Here I finished making up to round 9. At this point, we are going to put in the safety eyes before continuing. I like to put the safety eyes on the opposite side of where the yarn tail is. Here I am using 4mm safety eyes. Start counting the rounds from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to place the eyes in between round 6 and 7. We are going to place the second eye 3 stitches away from the first eye. I like to count these holes in between the stitches. 1, 2, 3. Place the eye in the 4th hole. I am going to put in the safety backings before continuing. From round 10, we are going to start decreasing. Start by making 1 single crochet into the first stitch. Then into the next 2 stitches, we are going to make an invisible decrease. Let me tell you the difference between a regular decrease and an invisible decrease first. For a regular decrease, we go into the next stitch and pull up a loop like we normally would for a single crochet, but do not complete that stitch. Again, go into the next stitch and pull up a loop. With 3 loops on a hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops at the same time, and that finishes a decrease stitch. You'll notice that that stitch looks a bit different than the rest of the stitches and it sticks out. For the invisible decrease, we are going to work into the front loops only. If you look at the stitches carefully, each stitch has a front loop and a back loop. Go under the front loop of the first stitch and then twist your hook around and go under the front loop of the second stitch. Then yarn over and pull up a loop like you normally would for a single crochet. Then yarn over and pull through 2, and that finishes our invisible decrease. You'll notice that that stitch looks the exact same as the rest of the stitches and it blends in much better. In the next stitch, make 1 single crochet. Then into the next 2 stitches, invisible decrease. Continue repeating this sequence of 1 single crochet and invisible decrease all the way around. We are going to repeat this sequence 6 more times, so 8 times in total. Here I am almost at the end of round 10. Remove the stitch marker and decrease in the last 2 stitches. At the end of round 10, you will have 16 single crochets. At this point, we are going to stuff the body. Make sure not to overstuff. For round 11, we are going to invisible decrease into every stitch all the way around. We are going to work in the back loops only. The front loops we are going to leave out to make the tentacles. I am keeping one finger on top of the stuffing to keep it out of the way as I work. Go under the back loop of the first stitch. Then twist your hook around and go under the back loop of the next stitch. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Then complete the single crochet. Continue making invisible decreases like this in the back loops only all the way around. You will do this 8 times in total. Here I finished making round 11. This was our last round. In the end, you will have 8 stitches. Cut the excess yarn, leaving a long enough tail for sewing, and then fasten off. Then to close up the hole, I am going to weave this tail in and out through the front loops of all of the stitches of this round. Then when you pull on this tail, it should close up the hole nicely. With the help of a yarn needle, bring that tail through the center of the hole and then out through the top of the head in the center. Leave that tail hanging there for now. We can use this tail to sew on a keychain or make the loop of a Christmas tree ornament. Next, I am going to make the tentacles of the octopus. For that, I am going to work in the front loops of round 10 that are visible here. You should have 16 front loops in total. Bring in the same color yarn again and wrap it on your crochet hook like so. Then go into that first front loop and make a slip stitch to join the yarn. Chain 5. Then skip the first chain and into the second chain from the hook we are going to make a half double crochet. To make a half double crochet, yarn over once, then go into that second chain and pull up a loop. You will have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops at the same time. And this is a half double crochet. Again into the next chain make a half double crochet. Yarn over, go into the next chain and pull up a loop. 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3. Make half double crochets like this into the remaining 2 chains as well. That is one tentacle complete. Slip stitch into the next front loop. Again slip stitch into the next front loop after that. Then for the next tentacle we are again going to chain 5. Skip the first chain and into the remaining 4 chains make one half double crochet. Then slip stitch into the next front loop. Continue repeating this pattern for all 8 tentacles. Here I finished making all 8 tentacles. For that last tentacle, instead of slip stitching in that last front loop, we are going to slip stitch into the very first front loop that we made the slip stitch into. Then you can cut the excess yarn and fasten off, leaving a long enough tail for weaving in. Next, I am going to embroider a smile in between the 2 eyes on top of round 7 right here. For this, I am using a yarn needle and I have separated 1 ply for my 4 ply black yarn. Come in through the back of the head and out in between the 2 eyes. Don't pull the yarn all the way through, leave a little bit hanging at the back. Then make a straight across stitch 2 stitches wide and then tack it down in the middle to form the shape of a smile. Then come out through the same hole that you came in. You can fiddle around with the shape of your embroidery a little bit until you're happy with it. Then to secure the embroidery, tie a knot at the back using these 2 yarn tails. Then cut the excess yarn and hide the knot into the body by pushing it in using the back of your yarn needle. Next, I'm going to use this yarn tail to sew on the keychain and also weave in these 2 yarn tails. For these 2 yarn tails, I'm going to bring them through the base of the tentacles and out anywhere on the back of the amigurumi. Make sure to come out through the same hole both times. Next, I'm going to take this yarn tail on my needle. To sew on the keychain, first go in through the jumping of the keychain and back down to the same hole. Come out anywhere on the amigurumi and then go back in through that same hole and out through the top of the head again. Make one more stitch through the jumping of the keychain to make it extra secure, and this time come out through the same hole as the previous 2 yarn tails. Then tie a knot using these 3 yarn tails and hide the knot into the body. Last minute, I also decided to add some blush to the cheeks. For that, I'm using this light pink yarn. Come in through the back of the amigurumi and out just below the eyes. Don't pull the yarn all the way through. Then make a couple of stitches 1 stitch wide. Then go over underneath the other eye and repeat the same thing. Then come out the back through the same hole and secure the embroidery. And that's it. I hope you guys liked this video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.